What's up, everybody? Want to welcome everyone to the webinar. As you know, today this month is Leads Month, so we're going through all of and more leads than we went through last week on this call. Peeling a little bit. The idea of this is to not only take these leads and put them in your business plan, but to also implement them today, like this week, so that you are having all of these things work for you starting January 1st. It's going to give you some time to get the kinks out on them, weekly sponsor, and have you have an opportunity to kind of work with us a little bit so that you hit the ground running for 2020. That is the mission here. So let's get right to it. I'm going to share my screen. Boom, boom, and I'm also going to put this on. Boom. Okay. So last week we did leads 1 through 11. Today we're going to do 12 through 23. Like I said, the key is implementation of these leads, not just taking them down, or lead strategies, I should say. Not just taking them down, but implementation. So let's go with number 12. Send handwritten notes to your leads or database. So this was interesting. I was talking with an agent, with Anton yesterday, and we were talking about how technology has kind of taken the human spirit out of everything, sales, marketing, you name it. And I think it's a good idea for all of you to kind of think about that a little bit and how you're marketing. I think, everything runs in cycles. And I think one of the cycles that's going to change is this idea of, automation without human activity. And I think that's going to come back around because there's just too many things that are happening that are taking the human out of those aspects: sales, marketing, training, manufacturing, for sure. So sending a handwritten note to your lead or database, I think in certain cases, maybe not in all the cases, but in certain cases, it may work to your advantage. So let me just kind of put some notes in here with this. Great way to communicate What do I mean by that? Well, the reason I say that is you might have part of your database may be a little bit older. And one of the things that I've noticed is, they certainly appreciate the little things like a handwritten note. And so that might be a great way to make a connection with that side of your database. You certainly wouldn't do this with the millennials. They probably wouldn't appreciate that as much. They may not even know what that is. We're not even, we've done some things over the last 10 or 15 years, and even in the school system, that are going to affect the people that are younger than the millennials, like not teaching cursive writing in school and things like that. But this may be a good way to reach out to a certain segment of your database, maybe the segment that's a little bit older, things like that. Another thing that this does is it shows, it kind of shows you care without actually coming out and saying that. That person that would get that handwritten note would maybe take a little bit more time and read that and kind of think about, oh, they took the time to give me a handwritten note here. They must care about me and my house to sell it, or must care about me and finding me a house to buy, things like that. Okay, so that is number 12. Again, I think it's a little old school, but I think that this is something that could make the difference. And it doesn't cost you anything. These are leads that don't cost you anything. one of the things that we have to do is think about leads that you may be paying for, but also leads that are no cost to you. Number 13, contact expired listings. I can't, this is old school. This is like grassroots grit, a way to produce leads, and no one's doing it because it's tedious and it's, I guess, arduous. That would be another word I would use. So I'm telling you, use your MLS. There's a way in every MLS that you can generate your expired listings, and it does take a little bit of time. It's boring as hell, but this would be something, if you can get 1 or 2 or 3 listings out of it in a year, your return would totally be worth it. So put yourself in the mind of somebody who has listed with ABC Realty and they really got to sell that house, and the listing expired without it being sold. And it's on the market. And because the real estate agent was lazy and because they're not aggressive, they didn't follow up with this client as well as they should have. Or maybe they followed up and the client doesn't want to use them. But now the client doesn't know what to do. Boom. They get your marketing in the mail. It could be, let's see, marketing. It could be a letter. Let me just kind of put this down. It could be a letter. Oh, that's not good, John. Boom. Letter. It could be a postcard. It could be a phone call. It could be an email. It could be any of these things, but they're going to get your marketing, and you're the first one there. Again, this is something where you can outpace your competition because not a lot of people are doing this. Nobody takes the time to go through expired listings, and I'm telling you, there's some gold there, but you got to have a system in place to be able to do that. That should be an automatic system that happens each and every week. You got expired listings in your market every week. Now, as the market is slowing down a little bit, you're going to even have more of those. So it's just how much exposure you can get in front of that client. You may need to be in a position where you're contacting them, more than once, 4 times, 8 times, 12 times before you get a response. Sometimes when people have an expired listing, they don't want to list right away again. They just want to take a little bit of a breather, or they want to have it sit on the market for a couple months. And I don't necessarily agree with that, but that's what's going through the mind of the client. So you're, as a professional, are going to have to turn that around. Put this on automatic pilot. You can have the expired listings come right to your inbox from your MLS, and all you need to do is either put that into your direct mail campaign, put it in your letter campaign, phone call. You could use email marketing, whatever your database does, your CRM. There's all kinds of ways that you should be putting this together. If you have any questions with this, please call me. I can direct you exactly what to do on this. But this is how you're going to get more clients from throughout the year. Number 14 is use Yelp to increase visibility. Now, spell that Yelp right, John. You spell that right, John. Got it. So let me just kind of read to you what this agent is saying here as I took some notes for this. Yelp is a great resource for agents. Yelp listings rank well in Google, and Yelp itself is a search engine. Creating a Yelp page, receiving at least 3 reviews, and taking advantage of free Yelp ads is one of the fastest way to acquire new leads and customers. In other words, this is giving you not only increased visibility, but it's giving you credibility as well. So those 2 things have a way of getting leads in place for you. So I think let me just kind of put this in perspective here on my notes. Create a Yelp page. Boom, that's number one. And then receive at least excuse me 3 reviews. That's the other thing. You should be really kind of having your clients give you reviews on a regular basis. Put them on the website, put them on our website, contact me. I'll put them under your listing, under your agent. Put it out there on your social media. Yelp, of course, is another way to do that. And then here's the last one here. Utilize Yelp ads. Okay, there we go. Boom. Utilize. I got to spell utilize right. Boom. Perfect. So that's Yelp. Not a lot of people are doing that, but I think that's a really good way to bring in some leads. Again, these are all, first 3 at least, are low cost, if not free to you. It may require a little time and effort that way. So number 15, use buyer and seller lead generation sites. There is a lot of them today, for sure. Websites. There is a lot of these today, buyer and seller lead generation websites. What is this? So I'm just going to use a company example. I don't have anything to do with this company, but I'm using them as an example. This is one of the many. Companies like Real Geeks create turnkey real estate lead generation sites targeted to your farm area and expertly promoted via PPC or pay-per-click marketing to gather as many leads as possible. For buyer real estate leads, Real Geeks lets you build an IDX, Internet Data Exchange. You guys all know what that is because you have that now through your own personal website through Anton. Enabled home search site that advertises for you on Google. Leads are encouraged to exchange their contact information for listing details. Once they're in Real Geeks CRM, you can market to them with drip campaigns and automatic text messaging and more. It even offers home valuation sites that will help generate seller leads for you. So think about that a little bit. This is using technology. Now, this is not a free site. This is a site that's going to cost you a little bit. Real Geeks, or whether you use your personal site or whether you use and build Facebook ads with landing pages, all of that, those things I can help you with, or at least we can help you with, maybe with our sister company, Safari. Please reach out if you're thinking about using one of these. Maybe there's a way that you can create this with less intensive cost with this. If you want to go to the Real Geeks site, they have a free demo that you can use, look at, and that'll give you some more information on that. I think what I would do is really kind of think about your year of 2020 and think about how you're going to generate leads. And I would think about your marketing budget. How much of your budget are you going to spend towards bringing in leads? It's going to be real important for you to kind of think about that before you sign up for places like Real Geeks or any of the other ones that are out there. There's a ton. And that way you can help budget that without, you don't want to blow out the budget and not get any leads in and then run negative for the year. So you really want to give that some thought. Have a nice balance between all of these things that are free or low cost and these things that are obviously going to cost some things for your leads. Okay. Number 16, use, let's just put other freebies, watch this, in exchange for contact information. Now, this is one thing that you can do maybe with your website, especially with your social media, or if you want to even create a different website for yourself, we can help you with that. That would be kind of designed in a way that you give away a free report or something like that, or some kind of gift in exchange for their name and contact information. That information should go right into your database, your CRM. There's a lot of CRMs. So again, use that effectively. Make it sure it's cost effective. Because one of the traps that I fell into in the past is signing up for all these bells and whistles, and they're really not that effective, but yet they're charging you each and every month. So just be aware of that. So just let me read something from an agent that wrote a column about this very technique. Her name's Christina Davies. She says, my favorite lead generation tool for real estate agents is offering a freebie in exchange for a name and an email address. It starts with a unique domain that is easy to remember, such as www.freegiftfromname.com. It shouldn't be on the main page of their website because people get distracted. That's interesting. When they go to the page, they should all they should be able to do is learn about the free offer and enter their name and email address. That's actually called a landing page or a squeeze page. Everything is set up in an automated funnel in their CRM, customer relationship management platform. You all should be using one that sends a gift immediately. Agents should offer something in their niche. We have done tax loopholes for the first-time home buyer by a new agent who is a CPA, certified public accountant for 25 years, a listing of my favorite shops and restaurants in a certain area, unique things to do in a community, and many others. It can be an infographic, a PDF, a video, a report, anything that provides value to the end user in exchange for that contact information. A couple things to think about there. If you're going to be working these landing pages, squeeze pages with your offer, and your offer is first going to start out on, say, social media, you've got to work a funnel. A funnel is a marketing funnel where they're going to have a campaign, typically an email, or even today, text campaign that's going to work you in this funnel so that you eventually are closed on something, closed on having them representing you in buying a house, closing on them having you list their house, that type of thing. So if you don't know anything about that and you want more information, reach out to me. I know a lot about that. I wouldn't say I'm a genius or an expert, but I'm close. I'm looking over at Heather and she's laughing at me. I don't know why that's funny. But would you say I'm a genius? Is that what you're saying? Close. Close to a genius. You're blessed. You're truly blessed. But if you want to know more about that, please reach out. I can help you with that. That's a great way to get some leads. It does take a little bit to set up, but I think it would be good for you to put in place. Where are we? Number 17. Let me check my time. We're doing fine. Tap your spheres of influence. Now, this is probably something that is a little bit more cliche, especially when you're a new agent. This is something that comes out and, they tell you to tap your spheres of influence. You hear that quite a bit. So let me just kind of read what this is in their definition, and then I'll kind of I'll give you mine based on what he says. This guy's a CCIM. It's a commercial certified investment manager. They've gone through a ton of commercial training on this. So let's see what kind of spin he or she gives from this. Hands down, our best source of sales clients come from our sphere of influence. The people who know, like, and trust us are the ones who are most likely to refer us. I've found that my job is to be at the top of their minds. The nice part of this is that I get to interact and do nice things for my friends, family, and associates. Providing gifts, offering help in outside areas of real estate, or being the source of the source has done wonders for my business. Also, when someone does refer you, be sure to thank them. You want to reward good behavior like referrals. Don't be focused on the closings. Instead, be aware of and thankful for the initial introduction. Then keep your referral partners updated and do a great job so that they look good. I like that. I think that's probably where we get a lot of leads here in between Heather and I is the sphere of influence. But I think if you're not working that, and not only working on it in getting the leads, but working on it in keeping the people that gave you the leads updated, and thanking them for that lead, I think you're missing out on the boat, because I think that is not only a great way to get a client because they trust you, and that's a key element in sales, trust and rapport. But because they trust you, and because they have rapport built with you, and they're being referred to these people, and that trust and rapport it's through a conduit, right? Typically, that should make the sales cycle a little bit easier, less cost. You don't have a lot of marketing costs with that, in at least getting that client. So I like this. This is probably one of my favorites. I'll just put that down, my favorite one. But to do this, you've got to work your influence, and you've got to make sure that should be lower cost in obtaining the client. And this is also another reason why you want to make sure that you're using your CRM with this, and staying in contact with these people on an ongoing basis. One of the things I like most about our back office software is that it enables you to not only keep all those documents, but with the calendar feature, it also allows you to remind yourself that, hey, we had a closing. I got somebody into a house a year ago today. I should reach out to them and see how they're doing, and just check in on them. Not necessarily to get more work out of them, perhaps, in selling that house, but because you checked up on them, it goes a long way in your referral business. They might be referring you to another friend or family member just because of that check-in. Here's one that I also like: share resources with potential clients. Share resources with potential clients. Let me explain what I mean by there. This is also from a pretty top, a well-known agent at Keller Williams, but I just want to borrow something from her a little bit here. One of the greatest lead generation tools that I've used is to offer free home buyer's handbook to potential home buyers. I've taken the time to write a concise yet information. Let me rephrase that. A concise yet informative handbook that I offer in either PDF, Word, disc, or print format. I advertise on my site as well as as social media sites like LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, and Snapchat. The people who respond are typically in the market to buy a home, or are considering starting the process. So this gives me the chance to open up a dialogue with them about starting the process of buying a home. I add their contact info. Remember this, I've said this over and over. I add their contact info to my CRM platform and to a special drip campaign that caters to potential home buyers. Really, really important there. Notice how they're staying organized by adding that to their CRM. That's something that you're going to hear me say over and over, and it's something that successful agents do over and over again as well. So share resources, and one of the other things that you might want to do. Let me redo this. Boom, boom, boom. There we go. Give reports. This could be run a first-time home buyer seminar for free. Boom. And I think that's going to do what number 16 did, but this is not from a squeeze page or a landing page. This is basically just giving them a free report or giving them a seminar, but still collecting their information and putting it into your CRM. So just a little bit different there, but probably just as effective. Number 19, become a local SEO Expert. What does that mean? Become a local SEO expert. So what SEO is search engine optimization. What that does is allows you to get specific with your targeting. So this is from James McGrath. He's a co-owner of a pretty high real estate firm in New York City. He recommends that agents work on local SEO to become an authority for real estate, key real estate related terms. This strategy we have used and have had success in New York City, especially in smaller towns. It probably doesn't take much effort to stand out on Google. For example, say there are lake homes nearby, which there are actually right here in Cedar Lake. Let's call it Lake Blue. With some very basic SEO strategy, you could rank for Lake Blue homes for sale, which would put you in front of a lot of buyers. So making sure that you have SEO and keywords when people are searching is going to be really, really important for you. So what I would do is check your site. I would check the way that you're marketing, specifically whether you are doing other campaigns on Facebook or Google or anything like that. Just get real specific with your key terms. It's going to be real important that you do that. So this next one is incorporate done for you lead generation. Here is another one that is paid. We don't do a ton of these, but I wanted to include them because a lot of people are doing this. Now there's got to be fully transparent here. This one is, we use a software called Back Agent, and they have been purchased by a company called Propertybase. If you know anything about Propertybase, they're a huge CRM lead generation company, and it's going to be really great for us because we already use the software that they just bought. So we're going to be sistered with all of these other options for you, all the agents that are part of Anton. But I wanted to be fully transparent that when I'm talking about Propertybase, we're actually already using them. You're actually already using them in your back office here, but we can expand that if you would like. So here goes. Generating and nurturing real estate leads can be very extremely time-consuming process. The done-for-you real estate lead generation services offered by Propertybase. By the way, this is not a paid advertisement. Just like this is not a paid advertisement. Dunkin Donuts. You do have good coffee, though, in my opinion. By Propertybase can save time and improves lead conversion rates by providing local high-quality real estate leads. Try Propertybase's lead generation features like optimized advertising, landing page templates, there's the landing pages we were talking about, and locally targeted lead generation to streamline your lead generation process. They also offer a free 30-day trial if you go to propertybase.com. But yeah, this is a paid one. This is something that you're going to pay for. You're going to have to really kind of get a good understanding of your economics here on how much you want to pay for your marketing and what you want to do with that. So again, make sure that you are aware of what dollar amount you're willing to spend on your marketing with that. It is not inexpensive by any means, but it could be effective for you. This is probably for agents that have a little bit of a base and they want to take it to the next level. I don't know if this would be something for entry level, but then again, I know some people that are using it. So use IG stories and TV is 21. Use IG stories and TV. What does that mean? This is Instagram. Again, this is more social media stuff. And if you're not using social media and all those channels, you should be. On Instagram stories, agents can share quick tips about buying and selling homes. They can also highlight neighborhoods in their area. On IG, Instagram TV, realtors can answer frequently asked questions in depth and offer short tips about the home buying and selling process. They can highlight the best parts of their city. So again, use social media. We talked about that before, how important that is and how effective that is with respect to um, targeting and using social media overall. Number 22, we have done this before for sure. Target specific homes in your farm area with direct mail. We've definitely done this before. It's definitely effective. And we are going to actually be covering this as a one-off special way to market, because this is a very powerful and effective way to market. And I'm going to give you a couple of things after I read our notes on here. Even though the direct mail channel response rates have been decreasing for years, targeting specific homes in your farm area can increase response and generate leads. If you are willing to put in the effort to research, you can target specific homes by the length of time at the residence and estimated equity. It's time consuming and labor intensive, but if you don't use predictive analytics software, but more effectively than blindly blanketing a neighborhood and hopefully something works out. It also saves money because now you are not targeting whole neighborhoods, just certain homeowners within that neighborhood or who are more likely to sell. Now, a couple things with that. Direct mail is it's not dead by any means. It really works well, especially if you've got a targeted area that is your farm. You can spend between $1,000 and $1,500 and hit 5,000 residences and really gets a bang for your buck there. You're looking for a 2% response, 2% response. So if you put out 5,000, a 2% response would be 100. That would be 100. So, then you've got to like narrow down that 100 to get some listings and leads out of that, and maybe who knows, maybe some home buyer side, but most of those would probably be listings for that. So you've got to be ready to go. Make sure that your pitch is down. What do you do when that person calls you and says, "Hey, I just got your postcard. I'd like to talk to you about possibly selling my home." What do you do next? So either reach out to me, get your listing presentation in line, things like that. If you have been working the agent broker blueprint, there's a couple of things in there with regard to your listing presentation, but more importantly, with regard to direct mail, postcard mailings. And we're going to do a special webinar with regard to that. The U.S. Postal Service has some really neat programs that you could tie into that really targets who you're going after. And also, we have some software here in the office that can really kind of tell you what type of equity is in any home in your farm. Like if you're wondering how much equity they have, call me. I'll tell you exactly what's going on with that property, how many mortgages are on it, the equity that's involved in it, how long they've owned it, if there's any other liens against it. Call me. I'll help you. So the last one, number 23 here, is something we do all the time. And I'm going to bring in a special guest here in a second to explain this. That's right. She doesn't know she's coming in, but I'm going to bring her in here. Number 23 is work with real estate investors. So as I'm saying this, she's gathering her information and what she's going to say to all of you out here. And let me just read this, and then I'm going to give you my thing, and then I'm going to have her. Where are you going? Okay, you got a phone call? That's interesting. See, she got a phone call. She got a phone call. So they want to get on here. Our best way to get more leads is to work with investors marketing for properties to buy. They come across a bunch of people, and a lot of these people want to sell, just not for what the investor wants to pay. So we get those leads, follow up about listing them. Listen, the real estate investors are here to stay. Now, they may decrease in numbers as this market changes, but that's been historically, from an Anton standpoint, that's been really our bread and butter. We were probably the fastest growing real estate agency in Chicago for asset management and property management for a long time because we worked with investors, and then we also had the opportunity to buy and sell within that time frame as well. Now we don't do a ton there in particularly Chicago anymore because that particular market has changed, but we do a ton here. As a matter of fact, Heather, who just walked out the door, just sold, I don't know, maybe it was 7 or 6 properties to a real estate investor, 2 weeks ago. And she was working with this investor. And so I wanted her to kind of state that process if she comes in and she's not on a phone call. I'll have her say something. But working with investors is really important. I think we're going to probably skip that though. She does look like she's on a phone call. But anyway, working with investors, that's our bread and butter. If you are doing that, haven't done that, you need help with that, reach out. I will help you. It's a great way to get listings and sales as well. So that's it. That's 12 through 23. Next week's call, we will be tackling 24 through 35. 24 through 35. These are all leads that you should be implementing in your business so that you can hit the ground running in 2020 and really have your best year in real estate. Just like last week, just like this week, just like next week. If you have any questions with all these, you want me to help you set any of these up, there's someone here from the office to help you set these up. Just reach out to me. You know how to get a hold of me. Remember, wealth has nothing to do with money. Success has everything to do with failure, and life is as simple as you want to make it. Thanks a lot, guys. We will see everybody next week on the webinar. We'll talk soon. Have a great week.